Let's talk ownership. And I don't mean like owning a home or owning anything. I'm talking about owning up to your shit. Now, I'm talking about this younger generation, teenagers who are anywhere from, 14 on up to 18, 19 even. Uh, Kids that are being put in situations where they are failing but immediately start looking to point the finger at other people or other reasons why they are failing. Now, you may ask yourself, what makes you an expert on owning up to your shit, right? Well, no one said I'm an expert, but I've got some pretty serious life experience with regards to making a fuck ton of mistakes to where I've had to finally learn that I gotta own up to everything that I've done in my life. All right. And I'm a father. I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old, and they have been taught from day one, you own your shit. Doesn't matter how you feel about it. If you make a mistake, if something happens and it is your fault, you better own up to it. Before you start pointing the finger, you own your shit. All right. Um, and I've been mentoring and coaching for years, for a very, very long time. Okay. Going on 15, 16 years now. Now, what I want to tell you is this. What I notice in kids that I mentor and coach and train is that not all of them, but a lot of kids, when things get rough or mistakes are happening, they immediately look for an out. They are looking for someone to point the finger at. Everybody but themselves. And that is a very, very big problem because as these kids get older and they graduate high school and they go looking for jobs or careers, or they get into college and maybe they're athletes and they try to get on their college team, whether it's a scholarship or a walk on, whatever it is, they're going to have to start learning that life is going to be very, very difficult for them, and even harder if they start denying where they're making mistakes. If they start looking for reasons to give coaches, teachers, professors, and whatnot, or managers or company owners, if they start looking for reasons to give them why they're failing. Owners of companies don't want to hear excuses. They don't want to hear you not taking ownership if you continuously show up to work 5 minutes late every day. Oh, well, I'm a good worker. I'm a good worker. I do this, I do that. Yeah, but you're late. You're late 5 days out of 5 days that you work here every week, every day. Or let's say you're slacking on the job, but your excuse to the job is, why are you riding me? I'm here on time every day. No, you're supposed to be here on time every day. You don't get celebrated for being on time every day. You are supposed to be on time every day. That doesn't make up for the fact that when you're here, you're fucking up. Okay? Own it. When you go and let's say you try to walk on to your college baseball team or your football team, whatever it is, whatever sport you play, when you go out there and you have a piss poor attitude, or you don't work hard enough, or you question any move that the coaches are asking you to do, or they're telling you, hey, you said you were a shortstop, but we don't see you as a shortstop. I need you to move to right field. And then you start giving the coach a reason why you're failing at shortstop. Well, I'm not getting enough reps at short because there's so many shortstops. I think if there was only a few of us and I got more reps, I think you would see my value. You think a coach wants to hear that? No, you make the best out of the reps that you get. You don't make excuses. You don't point fingers. You don't defer the problem. You own it. And more importantly, if he says he sees you as a right fielder, go hustle out to right field and get to work. Mom and dad can't come out to the field and ask coach about playing time or why you're in right field because you're a shortstop. You've been a shortstop your whole life. Sorry, coaches don't want to hear that. Okay, let's talk about you being in school. You're now in college or even high school, man. Like seriously, even in high school. Oh well, I didn't get enough sleep last night, and so I couldn't really study. That's why I got a C in my test. No, man, that's not good enough. Okay, because like I told you, my kids, same thing. Their school has study hall. They have all these things that they can do before they go home, and they take advantage of it. Okay, there's plenty of ways to get your studying done in order for you to start succeeding on your tests. You don't start pointing the fingers. Oh, I was at home. I couldn't study because there was noise there. There was nothing. No, you are at the age now where you have to start making adjustments in order for you to be successful. Okay, if that means you need to stay at school a little bit longer to stay at study hall, then you stay at study hall because you know your home life is a little chaotic. That is a hard truth, and that is owning the issue, owning your problems. And a lot of kids nowadays continuously point to excuses for why they are failing. Nobody is saying that life isn't hard. It is hard. I agree. Life is very difficult. But it's even harder if you live a life to where you don't own up to your shit. If you're constantly looking for someone to point the finger at, it gets harder. And yeah, maybe mom and dad can save you a little bit when you're a teenager and you're still in high school. But if you notice as you get older, that gets more difficult. The teachers will listen to mom and dad, but at the end, the ownership comes right back to you. Right back to you. Now, I've had situations as a coach where, decisions I've made, I've had kids question decisions. And listen, man, I am the wrong guy to ask, to get questioned because I always have reasons for what I do. And I tell everybody, if you're going to question me, be prepared. I hope you're ready for the answer because I always have an answer and you're probably not going to like it. But if you question me, then I'm going to give you the answer and you're not going to like it. I'm a hard truth guy. And people say, oh, well, but the truth hurts. No, the truth only hurts people that are in denial. Let me say that again to you. When people say the truth hurts, it only hurts people who are in denial. I am not one of those guys. I am not. A long time ago when I was way younger, maybe, but I haven't been that guy for years. I am a hard truth guy, and if you got to hear it, you got to hear it. So my theory is this. If you are going to question me as a coach or as a mentor, then you are going to hear the hard truth. And it's going to be hard for you because I know you're in denial. How do I know you're in denial? Because you are looking for people to point the finger at, and you always have an excuse for when something goes wrong. Always. I've had that happen numerous times. I had it happen this weekend. And when I pulled my guys aside, I said, okay, we got questions. I got answers. Who else has got questions? Because I'm ready to give answers. Not everybody in here is going to like the answer, but let's go. Who's got questions? And everybody stared at me. I said, since someone wants to question moves, here we go. And I gave the answer. And then I looked around. Who we pointing fingers at? Who made those mistakes? Who did this? Who did that? Because I know it wasn't me. Was it me? Am I wrong? Somebody please raise your hand if I'm wrong. Was it me? Because I'll own it. Just let me know. Was it me? I'll own it. If I was the one that didn't make those plays, please raise your hand and I'll make sure I own it. If I put us in that position, please raise your hand and tell me and I will own it. But I know the truth. What I did was set you up to make plays and you didn't make plays. And then because you didn't make plays, you looked at the setup and said, well, you set it up, so it's your fault. No. It's your fault for not executing the play. Point blank. Now, you can look around to point fingers, but it's not going to work. And at some point, you're going to have to own it. And listen, I'm always prepared for any time anybody wants to go above and beyond. So my above and beyond, I'm waiting for someone to still question my next, because I'm a numbers guy when it comes to baseball. My next move was to, okay, since you have more questions and you want to point the finger, I'm going to reverse it on you. Here are your numbers. Let's go line by line. And I will show you how you didn't perform, but yet you are the first one crying, complaining, and pointing fingers. You do not get to complain, point fingers, and look for an out if you do not CYA. What is CYA? Cover your own ass. I tell everybody that I coached, that I mentor, I tell my own kids. I tell kids that play on other teams that used to play for me. If you are going to complain about your team not being good, whether it's your high school team, your travel ball team, your pickup team, whatever team you're on, then you better have a clean slate. You better be covering your ass with your stats and your play. So when you open your mouth and you have something to say, the coach can't look at you and say, well, let's pull up your numbers, because he knows you've been doing your job. And if you are not covering your own ass, you need to keep your mouth shut. Period. That is ownership. Walking off the field and someone questioning the coach, and you as another player stepping up saying, coach, we didn't do our fucking job. End of story. You put us in a position to walk out of there with a win, and we didn't do our job. End of story. That is ownership. That is leadership. Period. And not enough kids know that. Not enough kids understand that. And not enough kids are being taught that. And the kids that learn it right now are going to be successful in life, because they are looking at life saying, I have to take care of my shit. Nobody owes me nothing. I got to cover my own ass, especially if I'm going to be outspoken. Because there are a lot of kids that want to be outspoken, but do not take care of business. And if you are watching this and you are one of those kids, you need to understand, you better be taking care of business on your end. Because nobody wants to hear from a kid complaining about how bad a team is if you are part of the problem. And you say, how am I part of the problem? You're part of the problem because you're not performing. You cannot say, well, I'm shitty because I'm on a shitty team. Bullshit. Bullshit. A lot of the kids that watch me and listen to me are baseball kids. You explain to me how I'll give you the best example that most of you kids will understand. You explain to me how the Los Angeles Angels are an absolute trash ass team, but every year, when Mike Trout is healthy, he has numbers that are out of this world. Why? Because he's an excellent ball player. Whether his team is great or whether they're shitty, he is the same player. And that is the same thing you need to understand. If you are on a shitty team, you better not be a shitty player, because then you are part of the problem. Own your shit. Period, point blank. And if you're going home and mom and dad are coddling you and letting you know that, hey, you're okay, it's just a crappy team, they're teaching you wrong. They're teaching you wrong. Because what they should be doing is looking and saying, hey, I was there, I understand you're upset, but I watched you make 3 errors and you struck out 5 times. So if you're going to complain about the coach and the team, you need to start taking care of your stuff. Because I love you, you're my son, but you're not taking care of business. Out of all the errors that were made this weekend, you made 3 of them and you struck out 5 times. So I love you, son, but right now you're part of the problem. And until that gets fixed, I can't say nothing or defend you. I watch you come home from school and get on the game and just game all night after your homework. When I used to watch you, you would come home, do your homework, and you'd be in the backyard hitting buckets of balls all night. You'd be bouncing the ball off the wall, doing your habituals. You haven't done that in months. I'd watch you go with your friend to the batting cages. You haven't done that in months. That's what needs to be happening at home. And if it's not, the kids are being set up for failure. That's the truth. That is the hard truth. I don't care if anybody agrees with me. I don't need anybody to agree with me. That is the truth. I'm not looking for people to thumbs up or to say, you're right, coach. I don't need any of that. I know that's the truth. The proof is in the pudding. I don't need a cosigner to know that this is real. If you are a young man in high school, all through high school, and you're getting ready to go to college, or you're still in high school, you need to learn to own your shit now, because life is going to get hard. And if you continuously go through life looking at people to point the finger at because of your failures or shortcomings or whatever it is, you're going to be very, very mad at how life treats you. Life is going to destroy you. You have to own everything. When you make a mistake, you got to say, that's my fault. I got to fix it. When you fail on a test, when you know you didn't study, that's my fault. I didn't study. I got to do better. When you get written up at a job because you're not performing, or because you're late 3 days out of 5 days you work there, that's my fault. I got to get up early. I got to make sure that I'm there on time. I can't keep saying, well, traffic's bad. I got to get up earlier and get to work. It's the truth, and you need to hear it. Stop looking for an out. That's all I got. I love you guys. Like I always say, my life isn't perfect. Oftentimes it is a mess. But for me, it is the perfect mess. Peace.